The premise of Jurassic World Rebirth isn't that different to all of the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World movies that preceded it. So basically, a big evil pharmaceutical company is trying to find a way to prevent heart disease or heart attacks among the obscenely wealthy, of course, not necessarily among the general populace. And the way they've decided to do this is to reverse engineer the DNA of the biggest flying dinosaur left in the world, the biggest swimming dinosaur left in the world, and the biggest walking dinosaur left in the world. So it's really that simple, and where they'll find these dinosaurs, of course, is in the narrow equatorial strip, which is suitable for dinosaurs to live in. So part of the premise of this movie is that all the dinosaurs that escaped haven't fared too well in the outside world. So this is one of the few movies that I've seen in recent memory that actually admits that the world was a warmer place during prehistoric times, and that part of that premise is that these dinosaurs have died off all around the world. People are bored of them, tired of these dinosaurs, and the only place that they really exist anymore is in that narrow equatorial stretch of islands. Presumably wherever all of the previous Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies were filmed, namely Kualoa Ranch in Hawaii. So this film does take the premise of a big evil pharmaceutical company trying to find a cure for heart disease and trying to find a cure for not being obscenely wealthy as well. So the lead guy from the pharmaceutical company, he's your typical big evil private equity firm type, the type of person that's someone like Luigi Mangione would have wet dreams about. And he puts together a group of prerequisite dino fodder / mercenaries / popcorn experts. So they're led by Scarlett Johansson and a bunch of other actors. I'm not entirely familiar with them. But basically this dirty dino dozen are put together, assembled much like Avengers, and they're on this mission to track down these 3 samples of dino DNA, much like any of your garden variety video games. So a lot of critics have been basically shitting all over this movie, whether they're legacy media critics or YouTube critics. And I don't quite know why, because at this point in time, however many decades it is since the original Jurassic Park, saying that you like or hate these movies is akin to saying that you like or hate things like rainbows or puppies or newborn babies or sunsets or walking on the beach. It's all a bit redundant. It's redundant to say that you like them, and if you say that you hate all of these sorts of things, it probably says more about you than things like puppies or kittens or newborn babies or sunsets or walks on the beach. So that part of it has been said to death. So that said, is this movie any good? So it has been getting shit upon to no small degree. And I can't really understand why, because as I've said in a previous video, these movies are pretty much just like a theme park ride. You're in it for the ride, you're not in it for a deep and meaningful think piece or a life-changing experience or anything like that. So this movie's no different in that regard. It does play out slightly differently to the previous films, though only a little bit differently. The first act is basically, Jaws, to put it simply. The first act takes place mostly aboard a boat, which is the orca of this film. It has all the classic tropes of Jaws, the motley crew of people trying to achieve a mission with a large aquatic beast. It even goes so far as to feature the front bit of the boat. I'm not sure what it's called. Someone might tell me in the comments, but similar to out of Jaws. And we even see Scarlett Johansson with a dart gun, similar to the harpoon gun from Jaws. I was half expecting yellow barrels to go flying off the deck of this dino ship at some point. But we do see a lot of the tropes, because the first act of this really is pretty indistinguishable from the third act of Jaws. You've even got the guy, you've even got the big evil pharmaceutical guy interfering with the radio and so on and so forth. So stop me if you've heard this one before. It really is quite familiar to anyone that's watched Jaws 700 times like I have. But nevertheless, it is quite entertaining, and quite a nice little entertaining pastiche of Jaws. So a few new sort of aspects that we haven't seen before in the Jurassic Park movies, but either fortunately or unfortunately, it's aspects that we have seen before in Jaws. So the second act of this movie is basically, if you've seen the more recent Jumanji movies, then pretty much there's no difference, very little difference at least, between Jurassic World Rebirth and those movies. You've got a bunch of people farting around in the jungle and getting up to hijinks and comic relief and so on and so forth. So that's the second act. The third act does, of course, go into familiar territory once again. Surprise, surprise. And the third act is basically aliens, and really just the third act of Aliens, or any of the Aliens movies that you've seen over the years. So nothing new or unfamiliar here. Even the lead dino looks a lot like the xenomorph, or albeit a oversized version of the xenomorph, but nothing that we haven't seen. But all of that said, there's nothing really to there's nothing to love about this movie, but there is nothing to hate about this movie. It is a fun, entertaining ride. Just think of it as a theme park ride. Nothing too taxing on the brain. Just the prerequisite jump scares and the flashing, strobing lights. There really isn't a lot of difference between this film and probably the Jurassic World theme park ride at Disney. They're both about the same at the end of the day. It's just that one lasts 3 minutes and this one lasts about 90 minutes. So that's really the main difference. Nothing offensive about this movie. Nothing that's really going to make it memorable in the annals of cinema. But would I recommend it? Well, if you're after a bit of escapism, a bit of mindless escapism and a good little cinema experience, the crowd that I was with seemed to enjoy it as well. They had a totally different outlook on it to all of these critics that are basically hailing it as the worst film of all time, which it's far from. But who's to know what goes on in the minds of legacy media critics or some of the YouTube critics. These people all have agendas and outlooks and different things like that, ideologies. But yeah, it's quite an entertaining movie all in all. As I said earlier, it is refreshing to see a film in 2025 acknowledge that prehistoric times were warmer than the weather that we see right now around most of the world. So that's a bit of a fallacy that's been pushed for a long time, mainly by people trying to sell you Teslas, or carbon credits. So it's good to see a little bit of rare honesty come out of Hollywood. It always sucks to be fed these sort of these pieces of propaganda. So by people again with ulterior motives. So it was good to see that little bit of trivia, or a little bit of little plot point in Jurassic World, that these creatures can only survive in this narrow equatorial strip, which is probably fairly close to what the truth would be. I did wonder that in the previous films, how all of these reptilian beasties were going to fare in sub-zero North American winters, but apparently we have our answer. And it does also give us a bit of a nod that dinosaurs are getting a bit old hat for audiences, so it's a little bit meta in that way. Although I don't think I'd go so far as to say what this movie does, however, that if there was a dinosaur blocking a city street, that everyone would be sufficiently bored. I mean, I'm out here in the bush right now, and even though I know kangaroos exist, I've seen kangaroos if one hops past me right now, I'm not going to just basically get irritated like the people in this movie do when they see a dinosaur, as if it's some kind of major inconvenience. So that's Jurassic World Rebirth. As I said, I kind of recommend it, I guess, if you can see it theatrically, or it might make a good Sunday afternoon movie when it hits streaming services. But the main point is, it's not as bad as they say it is, and if you are curious about checking it out, you might as well. But otherwise, I'm off to enjoy the rest of this nice day, and I look forward to seeing you next time.